Hey y'all, Labor Day tomorrow, getting ready for some grilling tomorrow, but overnight we're going to be smoking a pork shoulder picnic. I want to show you my setup here. Of course, I got the heat deflector plates in. I've done I really wanted to do cherry wood and hickory. I didn't have any cherry, just ran out, so I've got apple wood on hand, so should be pretty good flavor for that pork shoulder picnic. So tonight, it's an 11.5 pound pork shoulder. Be cooking for about 12 hours. And we'll be wrapping halfway through. So I'm going to start this thing at about 11 tonight. And of course, in the Primo ceramic grill, that temp will hold just fine. I've done it all day before, hadn't done an overnight cook, but I've done an all day cook and it held fine without any adjustments. So it shouldn't be a problem. We'll put that on at 11, and then I'll show you the pork shoulder, what I'm going to season with, and all that in here in a minute. Alright guys, so here's our pork shoulder picnic. Some of this skin layer on here I'm going to be cutting off. Just a thin layer here. I don't want to cut all that fat off, but I do want to cut just this kind of rough skin off. But leave some of that fat, because that'll render during the smoke. And we'll be seasoning both sides, cooking this fat side up, so that'll render into the meat. Let's just look at the other side here. We're going to put pretty simple seasoning on here, just for basically salt, pepper, garlic, and it's got some a little bit of sugar in this seasoning. We're using the Dizzy Pig barbecue coarse grind seasoning. We're going to sprinkle a little olive oil on it so the seasoning sticks. But first I'm going to get it trimmed up, and I'll show you what that looks like. And then we'll season it up and I'll show you that. Bought this on sale. Always nice to have stuff on sale. You can get it, throw it in the deep freeze, and pull it out when you need it. Alright y'all, so we got it rubbed down. Got the other side rubbed down. We're going to wrap this up, just put it in the fridge a couple hours, let it sit, and we'll get it on the smoker. Pretty generous with the rub. It's a big cut of meat, and we'll be shredding this up after it's all smoked, so all that seasoning is going to mix in, and hopefully all those spices cook through and get good flavor into the meat. I'll show you what we're going to do here. Malcolm Reed, his videos, if you watch him, he wraps this in with a towel to protect this from getting charred. So I'll show you what we do there, and then we're going to cook the fat side up. So see you back in a bit. Alright y'all, got the fire going for the pork shoulder. Gonna let this burn just a few minutes, then I'll put the heat deflector plates back in, put the grates on, let it get up to 225, and we'll get the pork shoulder on there. Alright y'all, letting the temperature come up nice and slow. Got the heat deflector plates back in, grates back in. Barely got this thing open. Want it to come up nice and slow. And that's what we got that down there. We're at 167 at the grates. Showing a little hotter temperature up top. Anyway, just let it come up nice and slow. If you find your temperature start dropping, obviously open up a little bit. But you want your temperature to come up slowly to 225. You don't want to get there quick. It's harder to back these things down than to crank it back up. Alright y'all, so we just got the pork shoulder on. We're coming back up to temp. As you know with ceramic cookers, you don't want to adjust your vents a whole lot after you get the cold food on, because the whole grill's got to get back to temp once you put cold food in. So wait about 20 minutes, let your temperature regulate, and then you can adjust it from there. We got 200 at the grates right now, about 200 at top too. Malcolm Reed wraps up his skin. The the shank portion of the pork shoulder so that skin doesn't turn jet black. Moist towel, little cooking spray. We've got the fat side up so that'll render as it cooks. We'll wrap in about 6 hours. We're wrapping at a temp of 160, final temp of 198 is what we're shooting for. Hey guys, we are about 4 hours into this cook. Temperature's up a little bit. Of course, it's overnight cook, so I set my temp, left it, went up a little, about 25 degrees. Not a big deal. Grilled, great temp, 243. So really not too bad. I set this at 11 last night. It's 4 o'clock this morning, so we're right at 5 hours into this. And I hadn't looked at it since. And here we are. Look at that bark. That is looking awesome. We're going to go ahead and wrap it. Going to temp it real quick. But either way, I'm pretty sure we're going to wrap and be done. Throw it back on. Another 5-6 hours. We're looking for that 198 internal temp. Our internal temp is about 147 here, which I'm good with. I like the color. 160, 150 is what you're kind of looking for. We're on the low end, but that's okay. We're at 152 there. I like the color. I'm going to wrap. So, shooting for 160, pretty close.